Okay, so this is going to be the October 3rd and 4th literary device, TPCASTT, poetry slash song lyric analysis. We're going to be analyzing a few different things, but in class, you guys are going to be reading over the notes. I'm going to go over the notes with you, and then you will read through the song lyrics and answer the questions beneath. So I'm going to do a couple just to kind of get you through it. So anyway, this is a list of literary devices that we're going to be focusing on. You have simile, metaphor, extended metaphor, alliteration, allusion, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, juxtaposition, paradox, personification, imagery, symbolism, tone, mood, connotation, and shift. These things are very important, and you're going to need to know them well. Also, you're going to need to know basically what the definition of rhetorical device is. Whenever you write something or say something with the intention of getting a reaction from a listener or a reader or persuading them to think a certain way, it all depends on how you word things. You know, for instance, sometimes when we text people to show that we're angry, we use all caps. Maybe we use multiple question marks, or maybe we use multiple exclamation points. Maybe we italicize a word. So anyway, these are examples of the way that this is going to be done. So anyway, you have, will you come over here please, and come here. One of them is a request, the other one is an order. Where are the authorities when you need them? Okay, usually when somebody asks that, they don't expect the question to be answered. It's a moment of despair, and they're just letting people know that they're in need. Telling somebody, have a seat, or cursing at them and then saying, sit down. There's a difference between somebody coming up to you and saying, have a seat, and somebody cursing at you and yelling, sit down. You know that one of them is, an order that you better listen to. This one right here says, I got an email from Mr. Chavez, ... Okay, that 3 dots at the end is an ellipsis. And the 3 dots speak volumes. This was a student who was failing my class, and I had to call his mom, and I left a message on her phone to let her know that he was failing my class. So she texted him this, and he read it, and he knew what that ellipsis meant. That ellipsis meant, you better fix this. And so, of course, he came, running to me, desperate, wondering, what do I do, So anyway, there's just all sorts of different ways that you can use rhetorical devices to get some sort of reaction out of the reader. So what we're going to do is we're also going to look at the TPCASTT strategy, and the TPCASTT strategy is a way to analyze poems. And so, of course, what you do, the first thing that you do is and you can read the instructions above for further explanation, but there's the title itself. You guess what the poem is about based on the title, and then you paraphrase the entire poem. You go through and you simplify what is being said. Let's say that you're dealing with somebody who has absolutely no idea how to interpret poetry. Well, what you do is, you word it in a way that they can understand it. Connotation, now this is one that can be confusing, so this is something you need to pay really close attention to. Connotation is a process by which a word changes in meaning. So in a song or a poem, certain words are used that have an original meaning to them, but maybe they're used differently. And maybe the word changes as the song or the poem continues. So, when somebody said the word kill, like it killed me when you walked out of my life, well, the word kill means to end a life, but we know that they're not talking about that they actually died. What they're saying is that they were hurt so badly emotionally, and so they're using the word kill for that reason. Attitude is just another word for tone. What are the emotions and the feelings of the writer? A shift is where the tone changes, okay? Does the song or poem begin sad and then it becomes happy? Or other examples. Then we go back to the title, and when we ask ourselves, did I guess it right? Based on what I thought it was, and then when I read the poem, was I right? And then, of course, we have to come up with theme. Okay, what is the message that the song is trying, or the poem is trying to express? Okay, so is it about wanting to apologize to someone from the for the past, or is it about overcoming adversity, anything like that? So we'll practice that a couple of times. So here's what the assignment's going to be. What we're going to do is we're going to read this. This is a song, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go down below and we're just going to answer some questions off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one, and then we'll answer these questions, and then I'll be done. The song is called I Remember You, and it's woke up to the sound of pouring rain, wind would whisper and I'd think of you, and all the tears you cried, they called my name, and when you needed me, I came through. Paint a picture of the days gone by when love went blind and you would make me see. I'd stare a lifetime into your eyes so that I knew that you were there for me. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, love letters in the sands, I remember you. To the sleepless nights, to every endless day, I want to hear you say, I remember you. We spent the summer with the top rolled down, wished ever after would be like this. You said, I love you, babe, without a sound. I said I'd give my life for just one kiss. I live for your smile and die for your kiss. Okay, so now that we've read it, we will go through here and we'll just start answering the questions. So basically, you'll just put your cursor at the end of the question and you'll hit enter, and then you'll just answer the question in a complete sentence. So it says in line 6, what literary device is being used and to describe what? So the literary device that we have here is when love went blind and you would make me see. Okay, well, I have to ask myself, is that literally happening? Is there something that is called love that has eyes and can see and it has the ability to go blind? Or is this somebody trying to say something deep, but they're using a comparison? So we can say that this is a metaphor. We can also say, I guess you can make an argument for personification because a person goes blind, but love doesn't. But I think this is more of a metaphor. So when love went blind and you would make me see. So at this point now, we know that that it's a metaphor. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and answer the question. Okay. We can say... We can say the device is a metaphor and it is being used to describe how she taught the speaker how to love when he couldn't. Before. Okay. And you know what? If you want to, you can italicize or you can bold. You can do whatever you can to make sure that I see your answers. How does the hyperbole in line 7 express the depth of their love? So in line 7, it says, I'd stare a lifetime into your eyes. Well, that is a hyperbole because I'm sure that he did not spend his entire life looking at her eyes. I'm sure that at some point they were apart. So now what we do is we just say, okay, how does the hyperbole in line 7 expresses the depth of their love? And we could say the hyperbole lets the reader know that he was so in love with her and attracted to her that he could have just looked into her eyes forever. Okay? And that's kind of how we're looking at that. Pretty cool. All right. What image comes to mind in lines 9 through 11? So it says, remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, love letters in the sands, I remember you. Well, we've all seen that very cliche, two lovers walking hand in hand on the beach. So I'm just going to put the image is of two lovers walking on the beach. Okay, what allusion is made in line 18? So here's line 18. Wished ever after would be like this. Well, where have we heard ever after before? And of course, we've heard it in fairy tales. So when it says what allusion is being made in line 18, the allusion of a fairy tale is evident with the words ever after, because it's that whole and they lived happily ever after idea. Okay, the paradox in line 19 helps describe what? Okay, so a paradox is when you have something that when it's spoken, literally it doesn't really make sense. And so what we have here is it says, you said I love you, babe, without a sound. That's what we're looking at right here. Okay, that's the paradox. And how is that a paradox? Okay, you said I love you, babe, without a sound. Well, if we take this literally, we can assume, like a former student of mine did once, that, well, maybe this person is deaf and they're using their hands. But, we know that poetry is supposed to go a lot deeper than that. So instead of saying that it's a symbolic to sign language, it's really just the way that two people can know each other so well that they don't have to speak. So we can say the paradox helps describe the connection between the speaker and his love. All right. In line 21, the juxtaposition helps the author express that he would do what for her? I live for your smile and die for your kiss. Okay, so our juxtaposition are these two words, live and die. So if we're talking about somebody who's saying, you know what, I would live for you and I would die for you, then they're saying that they would do what? And we can just put the word anything. There we go. Okay, so anyway, that's how we're going to do this assignment. And after you're done with that one, then you're just going to move on to the very next one, okay? And so we'll just hit this one, and we'll bring this back up to the top, and someone you used to know, and we'll go ahead and we'll read this, and we'll answer these questions. And as you see, the questions are different with every song, so we're covering a multitude of analyses here. So anyway, that's what this assignment's going to be. We're going to do the first one together in class, and then I'll just turn you loose on the next four. And this will be due at the end of the period. So this is due, depending on when I have you, it'll be due October 4th. And you'll need to make sure that gets taken care of. If you have any questions, email me.